Hello everyone. Firstly, a massive thank you for all that you're doing. My name's Bobby Jo Bottomley and I'm a certified trainer and master practitioner of hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming and life coaching. I'm the founder of the Hampshire Hypnotherapy Clinic and I see clients from this country and international clients both face-to-face and online. I specialise in stress, anxiety, depression and trauma, fears and phobias, weight management issues including eating disorders, performance nerves, addictions and habits, and low self-esteem and confidence. I was at an all-time low. I was massively stressed and anxious. My self-esteem and confidence were in shatters and I was engaging in behaviours and habits that weren't good for me. And these therapies transformed my life and they can help yours too. So if you'd like help overcoming an issue, please contact me today. I'd love to help you become the best you can be. Hello everyone, my name's Bobby Jo Bottomley and I'm a certified trainer and master practitioner of hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming or NLP and life coaching. And I'm also the founder of the Hampshire Hypnotherapy Clinic. Today I'm going to spend about 10-15 minutes going through two techniques with you. The first is a breathing technique, which aims to put you back in control of any stress, any fear, any anxiety very quickly. And the second is an NLP technique called the sub-modality shift. Now, for the purposes of time, I'm not going to go through why it's called the sub-modality shift because NLP is such a vast and massive topic, and I'm going to try and keep this video to about 10-15 minutes. But I will go through how you can facilitate the technique with yourself or with anyone else. And the reason I've chosen this technique to go through with you is because it's one of, if not the most versatile NLP techniques there is. So it can pretty much work on any problem or any emotion. So for example, if the problem is perhaps at the moment people are finding that we're drinking too much alcohol in an evening to cope with any ongoing stress or anxiety or fear, you could do it on that problem or the emotion behind that stress, or there might be some anxiety or guilt associated with that behaviour. You could do it on worry. Perhaps people or you at the moment are worried when you go to bed at night that you won't be able to fall asleep. So you could do it on the worry or that problem. It may be at the moment that we're turning to the fridge too much out of boredom or stress or anxiety. So we're eating too much, more than we would normally. I've done it on clients who have fears of flying, or it may even be that there are fears of dying out there at the moment, which of course would be very understandable. We're in such a time of great stress and fear and anxiety at the moment, and this is a wonderful technique, and it works on the basis of changing your relationship with the problem, and we change it at a subconscious level. So the reason why I'm doing the breathing technique first is because with any NLP technique, any hypnotherapy, any session of hypnotherapy, they work at a subconscious level. And in order to start to connect with ourselves on a subconscious level, we need to be in more of a relaxed state, or as we describe it in our field, a trance-like state, but it can just be called a very relaxed state. So the aim of the first breathing technique is to put you back in control of that stress, that anxiety, that fear very quickly, but it will also help put you into more of a relaxed state so that you can facilitate with yourself or with anyone else something to work on a subconscious mind, and in this case the sub-modality shift. And the breathing technique works on the basis that when we are stressed or anxious, our breathing tends to become quite rapid and quite short, so it can be a bit more like this. And what happens is we're breathing in a lot of oxygen. The oxygen reacts in our body and becomes carbon dioxide, but we don't breathe out enough of that carbon dioxide. So we get a build-up of carbon dioxide in the body. And carbon dioxide works to increase our blood pressure, increase our heart rate. So actually, when we're feeling stressed and anxious anyway, and we're getting carbon dioxide building up in the body, it makes those feelings of stress and anxiety even worse. So the aim of this breathing technique is to realign the balance in our body and to force those stress hormones back to where they need to be. And it works on the basis that the in-breath is shorter than the out-breath. So in that way, you're breathing out that excessive carbon dioxide that has built up. And so you can do it however way you wish really. Be creative with these techniques. But the way I tend to facilitate it is to breathe in through the nose for the count of 3 and breathe out of the mouth for the count of 5. And I'm going to go through that with you now. Now, with any kind of technique that works on the subconscious mind, any kind of relaxation, it can be really helpful if we close down our eyes. Because as soon as we close our eyes down, we remove any of those conscious visuals that we can see around us. And by doing that, we start to connect with ourselves on the inside and access our subconscious. So if you want to, if you're happy to and choose to, I just ask you to close your eyes down now. And I'm going to go through that breathing technique with you. And I'm going to do it with you and count with you. And I'm going to start that now. So breathing in through the nose. 2, 3, and out of the mouth for 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in through the nose. 2, 3, and out of the mouth for 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in through the nose. 2, 3, and out of the mouth for 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in through the nose. 2, 3, and out of the mouth for 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in through the nose. 2, 3, and out of the mouth for 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just continue breathing in this way as I talk to you for a while. Perhaps until your breath finds its natural rhythm, or it just doesn't matter anymore. Just saying to yourself on the inside the words relax, relax, relax. Because the more we relax, the better we feel. And the better we feel, the more we relax. And perhaps you might want to take yourself to a favourite place. Maybe a beach. Maybe somewhere you've been on holiday, perhaps a place of your imagination. Just to help you relax all the more. Or you may wish to bring to mind a colour that represents to you the words calm and relax, those wonderful relaxing feelings. And just imagine with every breath that you breathe in, you are breathing in that beautiful colour that represents to you calm and relaxed. Perhaps bring into mind a colour that represents to you any tension or anxiety on the inside. And with any breath you breathe out, breathing out that tension and anxiety. Just relaxing all the more. So I would do that with a client and continue breathing in that way, or using any visual imagery, whatever works for you. It might be colours, it might be places, until I believe that that client is in a nice relaxed state. And I will do that with myself if I'm using this technique. Just continue until I know that I'm just in that lovely relaxed state. That my breathing has found its own natural rhythm. And I'm going to talk you through the NLP technique, the sub-modality shift. I'm not going to be able to facilitate that with you because I'm going to be asking you to do things on the inside. And obviously it takes different people different times to do things. And it's very much a technique whereby however you do it will be right for you. Your wonderful subconscious mind knows just how to fix you. And whatever it does will be right for you. So I'm just going to talk you through it. But as with anything, this is a technique whereby we're working on the subconscious, and it works. We're thinking in a way that we're not used to thinking. We're doing things in a way we're not used to doing. So it does take practice. Keep practicing these techniques, and the more we practice, the better we get. So when I'm doing this technique, I will ask a client to really, when they're in that nice relaxed state, really start to connect with the problem. So it might be a problem of stress or fear. When they're really connected with that problem, or when you're facilitating this with yourself, you'll know when you're starting to get it right, because it'll start to feel a bit uncomfortable on the inside. And when you've connected with the problem, just give it a score. So if you were working on stress, for example, and the score for the problem at the moment, with 10 being the worst it could be and 0 being the best it could be, where would you score it now? Now your score is going to be pretty high, otherwise you wouldn't be working on it. It's a problem for you right now, so you're going to be expecting 8s, 9s, 10s. Then as you're connecting with that problem, start to break down how it's represented to you on the inside. So the first question I will ask a client is, if I was to draw a picture of this problem or an image and how it's represented to you on the inside, this stress, what would I draw? Now, imagination is the language of the subconscious. So you may find that your subconscious comes up with all sorts of wonderful imaginative things, and that is perfect. However it happens is right for you. So I've had a client, we were working with anxiety, and for her it was a blue gnome. That was the image that came to mind. Some people will see an image of themselves with their head in their hands, or it might be an image of a black rain cloud. So whatever it is, if you don't have any visuals that come to mind, that's perfectly okay too. So when you have a visual that comes to mind, just break that down even more. So is that image in colour, or is it black and white? Is it moving, or is it still? Is there anything else in this image? Is this image big, or is it small? How up close or away is it? So just breaking down that image. And then when you've noticed all that you can about the image, you might want to move on to, are there any voices associated with this problem of stress and how it's represented on the inside? Or any thoughts that run through your head? And again, break those down. Are the voices loud, or are they soft? How close away, or are they far away? Are they high pitched or low pitched? And then think about where it's represented in your body. So again, sorry, if you don't have any voices or anything, that's absolutely fine. And it may be that when you think about an image, instead of an image coming to mind, you go straight to, oh, it feels like I've got a big knot in my tummy. Go wherever your subconscious wants to go. Let your subconscious lead the way. It knows how to fix you. So it might be that you can feel a knot in your tummy. Think about, is that knot tight or loose? Is it big or small? Has it got a colour attached to it or not? Have you got anything in your throat, or anything around your shoulders or your head area? How that problem of stress is represented to you in terms of your body and how you feel. And when you've noticed everything that you can about how that problem is represented to you on the inside, and you're going to be feeling quite uncomfortable by this point, that's when we change things. That's when the wonder happens and we shift things. So again, you can be creative with this. The way I tend to start to work with it with clients is I get them to imagine that there's a door. You're stood in front of a door, and on this door it might even have your name. And beyond this door is your very own editing suite. Notice any furniture you have in your editing suite. Notice what colours there are. Are there any pictures on the walls? And I will get them to imagine that in front of them is a table, and on this table is their very own control panel. And with this control panel, they can add any dials, any levers, anything they want that's going to make this problem look and feel better on the inside. So we might start with that image of their head in their hands. What do you want to do with that image? They may want to get rid of that. So what can you add to your control panel that's going to help you get rid of that? It might be a red on off button, and when they add it to their control panel and press it, the image completely goes. Or they might say, I want that image now to be in colour, and I want the image of me to be standing upright and smiling. So what can you add, or what do you need to do? If a control panel doesn't work for you, don't use one. What does your subconscious want you to do to make this look and feel better on the inside? Might be TV remotes. Some people have buried things using the wonderful power of their imagination. They've buried stuff. I want to bury the image, or I want to set fire to it. Whatever it is that is right for you. And then you might want to go to, if there are any voices. Now that you've made those changes, are those voices still there? Or they are, and they're saying these negative messages. What do you want to do with those voices? I want to change the messages to positive ones. So what can you add to your control panel, or what's going to help you do that? And then move on to your body, where you're feeling it in your body, or what's going to make it look and feel better on the inside. So this is you taking control of that problem and changing how it's represented to you on the inside. And when you think you've done all that you need to do, just rescore. So having done all I've needed to do, if I was to score the problem of my stress now on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the worst it could be and 0 being the best it could be, where would I score it now? And it may be that your score, or by then your score should have reduced it, maybe it's down to a 5 or a 4 or a 3. And then ask yourself, what's left? So what else do I need to do? And it may be that another image has come up. Well, what do I want to do with that image? I had one client, we managed to get her down to a 1. Ideally, you don't want to be much more than a 1 or a 0 if possible. We got her down to a 1. I said, what would you like to do with that? She said, I want to bury the 1. So she buried literally the number 1, and then she poured loads of molten cement over it. The cement dried, and that was it. She was down to a 0. So ideally, we're trying to get it down to a 1 or a 0. Maybe that whatever's left, you just want it to disappear. Watch it float away. Whatever works for you. Remembering that the whole aim of this is to change how that problem is represented to you on the inside. And a lovely little tip for this is, if you do use a control panel at the end, pop that control panel on a piece of felt. Imagine putting it on a piece of felt or something you can fold up small or roll up or wrap up. Put it in a handbag or in a pocket. I've had some clients that have opened up a little bit on their skin, popped it in there. So that whenever you need to, if you're ever feeling that stress in the future, you can take out your control panel and you can add any levers, any dials, do whatever it is that you need to do to make this look and feel better on the inside. So it really is a wonderfully versatile technique. It does take a bit of practice because we're doing things in a way that we're not used to doing. I wish you all the luck with it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you once again for everything that you're doing for us.